This is Deep in My Heart, the prologue to the Discerning God's Best series, written by Heidi Gray McGill and narrated by Amy Lilly. I'm sorry, Father. I cannot. Melvin breathed in a fortifying breath. I will not treat our hands as you suggest. They're not hands, Melvin. They're slaves. Melvin's father sighed, as if bored with the conversation. He turned his hand and examined his buff nails before lifting them and running soft fingers over his coarse, graying mustache. The motion grated on Melvin's nerves nearly as much as his father's use of the derogatory word, slave. At least he hadn't said something worse. You are such a disappointment. The words, said on a released breath, were meant to hurt. They hit their mark, but Melvin didn't flinch. Being a disappointment to you is better than being dishonest with myself. Melvin let the words hang in the air. I cannot look my fellow man in the face and hold to the practice of slavery. Do you have any idea what people are saying about you? Any idea what I have to deal with every time I'm in public? Mr. Trexler fidgeted with the papers on his desk, as if they held the answer to his question. No, Father, I don't know. Nor do I care what others think. You may not care what others think of you, but it would be nice if you would consider how this affects me and my career. It took all of Melvin's willpower to keep from rolling his eyes. Your blatant disrespect for this family is unacceptable. Moving out of our home and into that hovel. His words trailed as Melvin interrupted. It's a modest townhome, Father. You are my elder son. You are expected. Again, Melvin interrupted. Stop! His exclamation was louder than he'd planned. He lowered his voice and softened his tone. Please, Father. They heard a knock on the study door, and Gideon, his father's butler, entered. Master Trexler, sir. Mr. Robert D. Oliphant III to see you, sir. The small-framed black man's skin and clothing shone from recent washing, but his eyes didn't. Melvin knew Gideon had a gnarled left hand tucked behind his back. He had witnessed the atrocity as a child, and his skin crawled as he recalled the cruelty his father had inflicted on the man, all to teach Melvin a lesson. Melvin's father's attention was no longer on his son, not that it ever had been. I'll see myself out, Father. Melvin knew he would never measure up to his father's expectations. He walked the short distance home, leaving his horse behind. He needed the walk to cool off. Your investments have paid off. Mr. Oliphant Esquire extended his sweaty hand to Artie Trexler, shaking it energetically, as if pumping it would bring forth more funds to line his pockets. Good to hear, Robert. Please sit. He gestured to the chair in front of his desk, then wiped his hand on his handkerchief before turning his back on his guest. He held an empty cup in one hand, and in the other, a full bottle. Reluctant to share such fine port, he sighed and poured. The clinking of glass on glass put a smile on the lawyer's pale and gaunt face. Artie wasn't sure what the slovenly man did with his money, but he didn't spend it on food, clothing, or a decent haircut and shave. He wouldn't use the man's services at all, except he was the son of a prominent cabinet member, and Artie needed the connection, and often information, gleaned from the relationship. He turned with 2 glasses in hand. To your excellent work. Artie raised his glass to Robert's, the amber liquid sloshing before both men took a drink. If you enjoyed this sample of Deep in My Heart, you can listen to this exclusive audiobook by signing up for Heidi's newsletter at HeidiGrayMcGill.com. Your subscription gives you insider information on all Heidi's books and the restricted code for Deep in My Heart, which is only available to Heidi subscribers. To be the first to know when new content is available for your listening pleasure, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to ensure that you don't miss a notification.